Global War 36 enthusiast here with a review of the version 4.1 map for Global War 1936. This map has several clarifications from version 4.0, and the first one is there in Ottawa. With 4.1, you can really see what delineations there are, that it touches New England and the Northeast USA right here, that the St. Lawrence Seaway comes in. So you can see that it touches Nova Scotia on this edge, so they really did a nice job clarifying exactly the delineations of Ottawa. Another key change or clarification to the map is here in Lower Egypt. The way the game works as far as gameplay is, if the Axis or the Comintern take Lower Egypt, these convoy lines, the Mediterranean line and the Indian Ocean line, do stay open and you can still convoy raid them. So that's shown more clearly because the convoy line was moved away from the land zone so that you can see that it doesn't close down. And then one other clarification to the map is here in C-Zone I-11. I-11 does not touch Siam, and so with the version 4.1, you can see the border between Burma and Siam tracing along here, and it comes down and ends right there. So I-11 touches Burma, but it does not touch Siam. I-12 touches Siam, but it does not touch Burma. So that has been cleared up with the 4.1. One of the most important changes as far as gameplay has been made here in the Philippines. So in version 4.0, C-Zone P50 and C-Zone P42 were connected, but there was a land zone here, a contiguous land zone that had a little gap, a little place for you to cross across. And it didn't make sense for this to be one land zone, but you could cross from one C-Zone to another C-Zone. The only places this kind of situation occurs is with Leningrad and the White Sea Baltic Canal and the Suez Canal. So these two land zones were broken up. You could put a coastal gun in either one of these, and it will, the narrow crossing here is right on the border between C-Zone P50 and P42. So these two are broken up from the Philippines into Luzon and the Visayas and Mindanao. So in Luzon and Visayas, that's worth one victory or one IPP, and Mindanao is worth one IPP. The major port and the submarine base are both in Luzon and the Visayas. And then Luzon and Visayas is also the Japanese bonus income. So that's an important change to the map. The other important crucial change to the v4.1 map is here in between Azerbaijan and southern Iraq. It used to be that southern Iraq had a little bit of a border with Azerbaijan, and this really affects gameplay because you can get from Transcaucasia to Azerbaijan and back when you could move into southern Iraq, Transjordan, Lower Egypt. You could make it from Transcaucasia in 1, 2, 3, 4, but now because these are not touching, and you have to pass through either northern Iraq or southern Iran before getting to southern Iraq. Now it's 5 spaces between those two. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that affects how much pressure Russia could apply to the Allies here in Lower Egypt, or conversely, if the Allies or Axis wanted to come up into Transcaucasia. So those are the two crucial changes, the breaking up of the Philippines and the clarification that this border with Azerbaijan and southern Iraq don't touch each other. There were multiple minor corrections to the map. For example, I don't think many players noticed or were worried that in the version 4.0 map, this C-zone here, A2, did not have the Monroe Doctrine, but of course it should have the Monroe Doctrine, so that was added in there. Another thing was a couple typos were corrected, and an island chain was renamed here down in what used to be called West Timor, here east of Java, is now called Lesser Sunda Islands because it's a chain of islands. It's not just one island. So whereas you see Portuguese Timor here, and then this is the western half of that. So those are the minor corrections that were made. There were some strategic objectives that were clarified. One of them is here. It used to be that Annam Tonkin, Cochin China, Siam were part of an objective in version 4.0 for the CCP to take over. But in version 4.1, the CCP needs to eliminate the KMT, which has many really delicious diplomatic implications. So that is no longer on the map. And then for the Soviet Union, they used to need to capture the Kuril Islands here, and they used to have a strategic objective marker here, but now they need to capture South Sakhalin Island, which is a lot easier for them. They can go from Amur to North Sakhalin across this narrow crossing, and then they can go down to South Sakhalin. And it's actually easier too for the Japanese because they don't have to go all the way up to C-Zone P9. So more contention between them, and that's clarified as far as the strategic objectives. So I just wanted to let the community know, I mean, this is a really beautiful map, and I want the community to know that there are no plans to change the map again for a long time. There's no future 1936 map in the works. HBG understands that players don't want to repeatedly purchase maps, and repeated games that we've been playing on 4.1 show this map to be working really well. So you can buy 4.1 with confidence that you won't be purchasing a 4.2 map or etc. So I really think this is a beautiful map, and head on over to HBG and check it out.